When you hear the word medieval, what comes to your mind? Dark castles, knights in armor, and cruel kings? Most imagine the Middle Ages as cold and miserable, a time where people had no freedom or real happiness.
But what if that image is wrong? What if medieval people were not as innocent as we imagine?
Behind the stone walls was a hidden world of jokes, gossip, romance, and secret desires. They were human. They laughed, loved, argued, and got jealous, just like we do today. They went to markets, gossiped about neighbors, and worried about money and comfort. They had no phones or internet, but human curiosity and joy were always there. The medieval world may look ancient, but the people were alive, emotional, and very colorful. A medieval town was not silent. It was noisy, crowded, smelly, and full of life. People shouted prices, church bells rang, and horses moved through narrow lanes. In the middle of this chaos, people searched for escape, laughter, and a break from hard work. Life was hard and death was close. So, when they had a chance to enjoy life, they did. But one powerful force shaped everything: the church. Its influence was everywhere. It controlled morality and marriage, warning against pride and excessive pleasure. But here is the secret: people did not always follow the rules, even those teaching them. Official records showed what people should do, but not how they actually lived. To find real life, we must look at street names, songs, and scandalous court records. Check the margins of old books. You will find animals acting like humans and knights fighting snails. These images prove medieval people were not always serious. They loved absurd jokes. For the rich, entertainment was theater, feasts, hunting, and court performances. Before Netflix, stories were the social media. A good storyteller could start a scandal. Ordinary people had taverns and festivals where they could mock authority and drink. Medieval life was difficult, but it was not non stop misery. Humans always find a way to celebrate. Street names were practical: Fish Street, Milk Street, but some pointed to more shocking realities. A popular myth says they never bathed. Actually, many towns had public bathhouses. It was a social place to relax and talk, using herbs and fragrances to care for appearance. Even royalty had less privacy than we imagine. Marriage was often about land and alliances. Still, they loved romance and poetry. Courtly love was full of desire and temptation. The Middle Ages were dark, but also alive, messy, and human. History is never simple, and there's always more to decode. Beyond the myths, the medieval world ran on bizarre jobs. From night working gong farmers to annual ale tasters who ensured every brew was up to standard. And while we think of them as filthy, their dental health was often better than ours today, thanks to a lack of processed sugar and natural cleaning twigs. Women were economic powerhouses too. Widows often ran workshops and managed large estates, wielding significant influence in their communities. Even the law was full of surprises. Animals could be legally tried for crimes, like the famous case of a pig found guilty in a French court. They even slept differently, often waking for an hour at midnight to socialize or pray before returning for a second sleep until dawn. This is Mystery Decode. Subscribe for more hidden truths from our fascinating past.